We humans are social animals. We need emotional connection and we need physical connection. I've been preaching that all along. I've been preaching that if you're single, you live by yourself during this pandemic and you don't have access to your lovers, that you need to touch yourself. Now, to be honest, I have not done that. I've been not practicing what I'm preaching, but I decided that I will do that this morning, and I did. And now I want to take you through what you can expect when you make a connection with your body. So it's winter, it was cold. I was coming home from my meditation, it was like 43 degrees. So it was a little hard to actually make this happen. So whenever you have stuff coming up that would possibly stop you from touching yourself, kind of push that aside if you can and give yourself this chance. And so I ripped up my clothes except my socks. I did keep my black socks on. I know it's not sexy, but I really don't care because I was really cold. But the rest, make sure your body is naked. Make sure that there's no separation between your hands and your skin. So I jumped into bed. One of my cats actually snuck under there with me, and he laid his beautiful coat next to my body, so that was a great little warm-up for me, and then it was too much for him, so he left. So take time to get warm, take time to rub your hands, make sure your hands are warm. That's very, very important. Cold hands on the body is just not feeling good unless you're somewhere in the tropics and it's hot. But anyway, so make sure your hands are warm. And then if you don't know where to start, one of the good places to start is right here on your heart. Just put one of your hands right here. I wanted to support myself even more, so just put both of my hands here, and then you just breathe slowly in and then slowly out, and let go and really settle in. Start that time. Your mind will be busy. The breath will help you to kind of possibly slow down your mind and silence your mind a tad. It doesn't matter how long this takes. You can stay here as long as you want because you are connecting with your body. Get in touch with the heat that you feel from your hands. We all have healing hands, every one of us, not just the ones who use them for massages. We all have healing hands. So we make sure, and what we also have is that our fingertips give us the biggest picture of what we're touching. They give us the biggest format of it. So see with your fingertips and connect with your body. I stayed there quite a bit, and then I wanted to come up to the face, and I just kind of held my face because that's one of the things I miss too from being with my lovers, to be held. So you can hold yourself and make sure you touch everything in your face you want to. You can take your palms and put them into your eyeball sockets very gently. Just make sure that you're tender. Make sure that you're kind to your body and that you stay tender. This too can take as long as you want. And then if you don't know where to go now, just go back to your anchor, start with your heart again, and stay there. And I check in with your breast, men and women. My breasts, my arms were tight to my body because it was still a little cold or shy. It probably was shyness at that point. So I felt my titties getting squished between my arms, and they just did not want to come out. So I bypassed them. I thought, okay, I don't want to touch my breast. I kind of went to the sides. I went under here, my armpit where it's nice and cozy, and I went on this side. And if you want to go, you can go underneath, or you can go and put your hands on them. Whatever it is that you want to, however you want to connect with your body, it is your time. So go further down in your stomach. There's a lot of stuff going on in our stomachs. It's my worry center, so putting my hands on my stomach feels really good, and it calms me down. And I start rubbing. If you want to start rubbing, make circles in your stomach. Make sure you go clockwise and just go softly. Maybe you want to go to the sides. And then if you make your circles bigger, what you may feel is right here on the lower part of your pinky, you may feel your pubic hair. If you're male, you may feel your pubic hair, you may feel the tip of your lingam, the tip of your penis just kind of hanging there. And just kind of stroke it and say hello. You know, there's no pressure to be sensual with this connection that you're doing with your body. Just kind of check in to see where it's at, how it feels. Your legs at this point are probably still closed. Mine were. So I wasn't feeling anything in my genital area. I was just feeling my pubic hair, and it was a nice reminder that's where my genitals are. Whatever it is going on, just make sure you're present with your system. So afterwards I went on to my hip bones, which is something that I like to do. That's something sensual for me, and I really love cupping my hip bones, and I went down my thighs, not my inner thighs, because I didn't want to be, that's just not where my hands wanted to go. So I stayed on the side. If you want to go up your thighs, it's totally up to you. At that point, I felt like it is time to connect with my genitals. Again, still did not know if I want to stimulate myself or not, and it really didn't matter. There was absolutely no pressure. It was just me and my hands. So you can, what I suggest you do at that time, here's my cute little pussy muppet. Just cup your genitals. You know, cup your vagina, cup your penis. Just put one hand on it if you'd like. You put another hand on it, however you want, but just connect and breathe and cup. It's a wonderful feeling that we really don't do. Sometimes you see kids standing somewhere in the playground and they kind of have their hand there and just, or if you have kids at home, you know, I'm pretty sure you have noticed that. So cupping is a wonderful, gentle way to connect with your genitals without expecting anything from your arousal or from yourself. At that point, if you want to, you can go back up, you can stop, you can just, you know, do this, thank yourself, smile, or you can continue. Now, for the purpose of this teaching, I decided that, you know, what does my body feel like if I start touching it? So I actually the first step was I just opened my legs, and that took a little convincing, because I didn't want to get the cold sheets. Maybe I was afraid that now I have to be sexual. What if it's not there? You know, I have those thoughts coming up too, just like everybody else. So, but I just persevered, and I just opened them up slowly, and then I was able to cup myself even more protective, and I got myself closer to my genitals because the legs were open. I went a little further down in between my legs, closer to my perineum, and just really just cupped it and held it and was tender with it. Now, all of a sudden, when I did that and I started moving my hips just a little bit to readjust my spine, I'm like, oh, well, you know, maybe I get to see what it's like to touch maybe over here, maybe over here. So I couldn't quite tell what I wanted to do. So I decided to, first of all, just kind of pull it open. Go with both of my hands in there and just kind of pull my vagina open. And what it did is it kind of pulled my hood back, and it brought my clitoris forward a little bit. And now my body said, oh, we want some stimulation. Now, if you have a penis, what you may want to do, kind of pull on your penis, start a little stimulation that you usually do, that you know, that you're familiar with, and see what happens, if you want to continue or not. So my arousal went from a 0, went to like a 1 and a 2, maybe even a 3, and I'm like, so that motivated me to start touching on the outside of the lips, and I even went on the inside. It was a little dry because I'm past my menopause, so didn't want to get up because it's cold, like a freaking refrigerator. So I didn't want to go and grab my lube because to be honest, I didn't know where it was. It's been so long. So I just went to my second thing, and that is spit. So I took a couple loads of like 3 loads of spit, and I went down and I started stimulating, and immediately my body went like, ugh. And I could tell my body was happy for my connection. It was not necessary to continue in getting my arousal to an orgasm with my hands. My body was just happy for the connection, for the closeness that I was creating between my hands and my genitals. Again, if you want to stop there, you can do that. You can just, close it out with a hug, with a gentleness, with a thank you, with a smile. I wanted to have a release, so I grabbed down my magic wand and I hopped on it, and it was like a 15-second thing, and it came so fast because it's just been a while, and I'm like, oh, that was too quick. I was a little disappointed, and did not want to do for a second for one reason or the other, but my body was happy because my heart rate went up, my involuntary muscle spasms are starting to happen, and then I was pushed up to a little tense tightness in my whole pelvic region to the point of the orgasm plateau, and I let go, and all of that happened in 15 seconds. Whoever has a magic wand, that's really easy to do, and it was on the low volume. So I got up. I also closed out. I said hello, goodbye, and I held myself, and I thanked myself for making time to have this connection with my body. And let me tell you, it is a smile I took with me. I went to make some tea afterwards. I felt my body. I am back in my system, so I can only imagine what happens if I do this once a week. So I'm going to commit myself to that, because it's up to me to connect with my system, just like it is up to you. So I recommend you do that, and love yourself. Be kind in whichever form you want to do that. Enjoy.